It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, and Tom Griswold. And now, here's Tom.
Coming up, a special request for something from Greg Warren, ladies and gentlemen.
Who the hell would request that?
Well, it's
I'm going to need to see
something good. It's from Ryan. He wants to hear something from Greg Warren. We'll certainly look forward to that.
Wait a minute, what is it? Is it Greg? I thought it was Craig Warren.
No, it's Greg.
Okay,
It's a war ring. It's a war ring.
There we go. Now, we're trying to get hooked up here with comedian Nikki Glaser, and she is where are you, Nikki?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, in my dad's home office right now.
Oh,
I was
right
just going
on.
to say, it looks like sports memorabilia all around you.
Is that a Beatles poster by your head?
Yeah, it's a Beatles poster. It's like a really old school, like one that would come in like these packs that girls would buy back in the 60s. Beatlemania. Yeah, my dad scored one, and now it's in his office. And just a bunch of posters of me. I just like to be surrounded by myself.
Yeah, yes, very good.
What is the thing to your right? Is that some kind of Indian print or something?
Yeah, that's a
Indigenous
Navajo
peoples,
rug of some sort.
It's a rug.
Nikki's a Native American. Did you know that?
Native American.
Yeah,
She's of the blonde Navajo.
That's
Yeah.
right. Navajo.
Yeah, 1.3%, and I celebrate every
Every day.
tenth of it.
You look great.
I just found out I was on Zoom, so I threw on some makeup. Thank you for saying that. I did not look great 15 minutes ago. I really looked. I had quarantine face for sure.
I was going to say, you don't look quarantined at all.
I've been told I have resting quarantine face.
RQF.
Yeah.
Now, so you got out of the city and
Yeah.
lucky to be in St. Louis, I would think.
I was lucky. I actually was in Los Angeles when this all kind of like went down, and I was just there filming some stuff. But I live in New York, and I was switching apartments in New York. March 1st, I moved to a new place, and previous to this, I don't have any furniture. I have no belongings. I kind of like got rid of all my stuff the last time I moved because I just didn't want any more things. I kind of saw this coming. And then I really did. I've been I've always thought that like things are not. I'm gonna need to flee very quickly, and and it was the weirdest thing because I was living in a furnished apartment in for many months in New York, and it was going great. I didn't own anything. I was like, I'm constantly in hotels. I just turned my life into living in a hotel permanently, and then I kind of got kicked out of that apartment because I smoked too much pot or something like that. And I don't know exactly the reasons. No, it was just the guy wanted to sell it. So I had to get kicked out, and I found a place, and I go, you know what, Nikki, you're a woman. What are you waiting for to like find a place and furnish it? Just do it. So I got a place March 1st, and I hired a decorator, and it had the place completely, it was being decorated, and then all this went down, and then it stopped. So now I have an empty apartment in New York I can't even go to. And I just decided to go back to St. Louis instead of New York from LA, and I've been here for 4 weeks.
Now,
So you're living with
I was going to word this carefully. So that's the upside, maybe.
Or it also might be the downside.
Who else is ensconced in your current abode?
It's just me and my mom and my dad. It is just us.
So do you feel like you're back in high school?
I really, really do. I'm slamming doors, being like, "You don't get me!" Taking naps all day, and even though it's just so weird. I've worked so hard to never have to do this again, and I just didn't imagine a world where this could happen. But it actually is the best case scenario because I don't have anyone else in my life. So it would either be this or being alone. Now, when I get out of here, I'm finding a husband like immediately because I never want to go through a pandemic again. I think as someone who's like a workaholic and just tried so hard, like put my career first, I really didn't pick I thought that there was no way stand-up could ever be taken from me. Stand-up will always be my husband. And now I realize that maybe there are more important things. So it really is going to shift my focus to, I used to want to like host SNL someday or have more Netflix specials. And now I just want to marry someone with a bunker. Like, that's my goal.
Very good. Let me introduce our guest once again. She is the great comedian, Nikki Glaser. Nikki, if people want to find you on the various social media platforms, how do they do it?
Oh, please do. I'm mostly on Instagram. That's like my main one, but I'm tweeting all the time. Nikki Glaser, NIKKIGLASER on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to slide into my DMs and tell me about your bunker and tell me how many decades worth of food you have stored, I'm looking for a man that has a lot of provisions. I'm a little bit worried, like since being quarantined, I'm a little bit worried about being in an enclosed environment with decades worth of food. I know my eating issues, and I'm going to get into a fight with my bunker mates, and I'm just going to binge like 4 years worth in one night. And then I'll just have to slowly watch my bunker mates like starve in front of me.
Hey, Nikki,
because I didn't get help for my eating disorder.
Nikki, can you hold your hands in front of the screen?
Yes.
You're not doing the dishes, are you?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, because...
well, is it because she doesn't do them? Maybe she doesn't do them properly. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is your mom doing the cooking and the cleaning? And
Yes, she is, and I am. I'm trying to get it in. This is how I grew up, though, Tom. Like you were talking about, you fall right back into the way you were. Like I'm really bad at doing things like that, and my mom gets so frustrated that she just does it for me.
Oh, I know this story.
You know this story, right?
Yep.
It's the greatest story to be a part of on my side. It's I don't have to do anything, but what I do, I'm just like kind of gross. Like this whole thing is making me realize I've always been kind of like a gross person. Like people, like washing my hands after I go to the bathroom, not an issue. Always have done that. Don't mean to brag, but like I've been on that train for a while. But just in terms of like, after meet and greets, I meet hundreds of people after shows. I don't wash my hands. I'll just go like eat a chip. I don't really think about things like that. So this is making me be very vigilant in that way. And in terms of dishes, I'm just someone who like uses a dish and then I'm going to probably use it in a couple hours. So like, I'll just eat from that dish again with the same food. Like it's just going to be dried food that I ate before. I probably like it. If I get some old oatmeal and on my spoon, it won't really bother me. I just don't understand the idea of washing a dish all the time that you're going to use again.
Now, is your mother doing your laundry?
No, I'm doing that myself, but by doing that, I mean, I'm not really doing that. I'm just turning things inside out. I'm digging through my drawers and finding old clothes that I've had since I lived here before. So there's like a lot of ill-fitting Taylor Swift shirts that are
those may be valuable. Now, let me ask you this. Is your bedroom from back in the day, is it preserved as if you just walked out?
You know what? There are a couple things. There's like a Dave Matthews Band light switch cover that I had as a kid. There's my name is on the wall because even then I was kind of a narcissist.
Hi, Nikki.
Like, why did you need that?
Now, let me ask you this: Did you when you were a kid ever envision hosting a talk show? Or I can remember I used to do fake commercials in front of my mirror, and the one I remember the most is I was doing a pitch for an invention. It was a Kleenex dryer, and you would put a Kleenex on the light bulb, and I short-circuited the whole house. So, did you ever?
He was a menace.
Did you ever go in your basement and pretend you were doing a talk show or anything, or do stand up to yourself in the mirror?
I definitely always worked on my autograph because I knew that was something I'm just going to sign a lot of someday. So I have journals with tons of my autographs in it. I also knew that I wanted to be on TV someday and work in entertainment. So in high school, I did this thing where I got anorexic because I thought that was one way that it would work.
Oh my God.
Not all that funny.
Not to bring the show down, but I'll tell you that I knew that I was going to need something more than just I knew my face wasn't going to get me in. So I was going to have to do something else. So I was always hyper aware that I was going to be someone. And I'm glad I made it happen, but I just never predicted that I would live in a world where all of this would be kind of taken from me. Thank God thank God for radio and that I still do, stuff, podcasts, and I can do stuff like this. But stand-up is truly something that I can't wait to hear what Greg Warren says, because we use stand-up as a drug. All of us need to get on stage every single night, and now it's suddenly been stripped away, and we just never thought that it would be taken. Stand-ups always talk about stand-up like, oh, if everything else goes, I still have stand up. And it's like, what do you do now? And it's just funny to see comedians like flailing online trying to make content that they have no business doing, including myself.
We're talking with Nikki Glaser, the great comedian, and she happens to be living at her parents' house.
Yeah.
And she is a woman of a certain age.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I mean, by
I'm
which
35.
I mean...
I'm going to be 36 in a month.
By which I mean, if you're 36 or 35 living with your parents, I mean, that's nice, but it's...
Well, these are special
in
circumstances.
Asian cultures, it's completely normal to do that.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing
when
wrong.
you're white, it's just it means things haven't gone well.
Now, when you first moved out, did your parents sort of immediately take over your room and get rid of all your stuff and make it a sewing room or something so you'd never come back?
No, they really love that I'm back. Because I pay for everything, but they also love quality time. And no, they're so nice. But yeah, my room is definitely transformed. It's just a place for my dad to keep his equipment. My dad plays in bands around the city. Well, not anymore, but he used to play at nursing homes and grocery stores around the city with his band Glaze and the Moon Kings. So
he's a terrific musician, by the way.
He really is. He has songs about like climate change and then he does like covers and he's just So there's a lot of equipment around. Like I'm in his studio right now. Like I'm doing my show from my dad's home office and it's just cluttered with all of his stuff. It's really hard to make, make it feel like home here.
Over your left shoulder, what is that photograph?
That is Barney Fife.
Barney Fife. Okay, I can.
That's Don Knotts. My dad has a signed Don Knotts.
Oh, how cool is that? Oh my God.
Yeah, when he met him as a kid and he wrote him.
One of the greatest characters in the history of writing. I think.
Yes.
I just love him. In fact, the other day I actually watched an episode of the Andy Griffith Show just to get my mind away from all of this.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it helps.
There's no coronavirus in Mayberry. Of course, a lot of other things that aren't in Mayberry that's kind of confusing.
Unfortunately, it was the special COVID-6 episode, and so it didn't really help distract you at all.
Okay.
You knew what was coming.
Well, Nikki, you look great. I'm glad you're still able to do your radio stuff. And if people
it's nice. I'm trying to find a man. So just putting that out there. I'm using like all of these appearances as kind of like a personal ad at this point.
Now, let me ask you this. But this is going to sound wrong. Are you now, or have you ever been a user of?
Oh my God!
Of sexting.
God!
In your arsenal, or have you ever done any?
Thank you for asking that. These are the kind of questions I love. Here's the thing. It is happening a lot. I keep getting texts from guys reaching out, finding out, how are you doing? But it's at 2 a.m. And they really want to check in with me and my quarantine status and my emotional health at 2 in the morning. And at first I fell for it. I'd be like, I'm doing okay. How are you? And they're like, I really want you to feel good. And I'm like, where does this go? What is happening here? So I feel like a lot of guys have been reaching out. At first I thought, I was kind of excited about the quarantine because I was like, okay, finally, all these men who have been so scared to make a commitment are going to realize that like what really matters, who you end up with when you can't do anything else. Like I would love to be quarantined with someone I love right now. And my parents will do, but like a romantic partner would be amazing. And I know it's like the grass is greener, but I think getting out of this, I was like, oh my God, so many men are going to realize that they need someone and they're going to want to commit. But I just think men have been really bored because I haven't gotten reached out to by as many men as I think. Like it has been no one from my past. I thought there was going to be tons of guys from my past being like, listen, I would really like to reconnect. And we would do like a Love is Blind type thing where we get to know each other from talking and texting. But the case is, I realized that I think too many men have a lot of free time on their hands. And so they're doing a thing that really strips them of their desire to want to reach out, if you know what I'm saying. Like if a guy is doing something all day and doesn't have a reason to text you.
Yes.
Like, I feel like a lot of times the reason a guy is reaching out to me is because he's trying to facilitate something. But if guys are doing that all day, there's no like guys just don't want to hear from me. I text guys and they're like, yeah, I just did that. I don't need to talk to you. I wanted to hear how your mom is, okay?
Yeah, someone came up with a sanitizer lube, and they killed two birds. Well, thanks, Nikki Glaser. Once again, it's NIKKIGLASER. Find her all over social media.
Yes,
she's super funny. It's great. I'm glad you're doing well. Hi to your folks, please.
Yeah.
From all of us.
Hi to you guys. I will get. They're gonna be so happy you said hi. Thank you so much for having me on, and it's so great to see you guys. And I love you so much.
Chick McGee across the way at the sports desk.
Yeah.
The Navy Federal Credit Union newsroom. She's got her own room now. It's Christy Lee behind the glass over there.
Loving it.
She's filling it with farts over there. You know.
Yeah, I
She's
am belching, farting. It's great.
Wow, don't join in the.
Smells like dirty.
Don't encourage these boys, Christy.
Smells like dirty beans over there.
It's unbelievable. Josh Arnold's in the room with us, but he's the appropriate 10 feet away.
that's right.
We took a vote and voted Godwin off the island.
I was second.
I forgot he's here
I
4
was
times
first, he was
today.
second.
He's in the glass jail cell we used to call the Nuremberg room. We've been corrected now. It's merely the
Boom boom room,
Talking
penalty
about
box.
it.
I'll accept those
ice
two.
hockey penalty box. I promised a surprise for you guys. We had a request from both Ryan and Nate to hear a little something from Greg Warren. We played the famous
We played it.
Flute Man Greg.
Yeah,
But
we played it.
ladies
It's
and
over.
gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube, on our screen right now, we are joined by
What?
Greg Warren.
Get out of here, you punk! You stink!
Sucking up wearing the Bob and Tom hat. I love
Now,
it.
give me a test of your voice, Greg. Can we hear you?
test.
There we go.
This is Greg Warren calling into the Bob and Tom show.
Okay, now Greg,
No thanks.
Hang up!
No, Josh, that was a test.
now,
Sure.
Greg, where are you?
I'm at home. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, we just talked to Nikki Glaser, gorgeous and single in St. Louis. Maybe you two guys should hook up. You know her pretty
Yeah,
well.
bang it out, man. You know,
Yes.
smash it.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd be thrilled with that.
He doesn't have a bunker. That was one of her
Are
requirements.
you at your house or your dad? Where are you?
My place.
Oh, no kidding. I thought you
Yeah.
got rid of that
The
place.
condo?
In fact, Josh has been there. Christy's
I've been there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you had to quickly hang up that fake art behind you to make it look like you're somewhat
Yeah.
cultured.
What is that painting behind your
Here's
left
my
shoulder?
Kandinsky. Does everyone see it?
It's a Matisse.
Nice.
Is it an
I
original?
have no idea what it is. It was my mom's.
Oh, so your mom decorated it?
No, it's just some of her stuff.
Oh, okay.
Let's not
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
there.
my sister-in-law decorated it. Actually.
Well, that's
Very nice.
that's
No, he's got a
very
very nice condo.
Yeah,
Very
he
nice.
does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Doesn't look like it from this angle.
Well,
so. Now, are you just by yourself there? I assume.
Yeah, but I've been alone.
So this doesn't differ at all from your regular life.
No, it's pretty much the same. I don't do shows at night, but other than that,
There's no income, but
Do you have the meals delivered? Do you do that? Are you doing the DoorDash, the Grubhub, the food delivery?
I've got groceries delivered a couple of times. We got a little service here.
Right.
And then I broke down and went to the grocery store yesterday with masks and my gloves on.
Did you keep your 6 foot distance?
Oh yeah, I mean some idiot, kind of had to breeze by me, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I recommend get one of those bright orange or bright green vests and print on it coronavirus inspector. People will keep their distance.
That's a great idea, Tom. This has got to be really hard on you. Huh?
Greg,
Wait.
you have no idea.
And the rest of us.
Greg, as you can see in my hand right now, I have a Clorox wipe.
Yeah. Where'd you get those, man? You can't get those things.
Then I have my hand sanitizer. This is I don't know what 67 fluid
He
ounces.
has Clorox on my side of the room too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where. Then he's getting it from some sort of black market deal.
I think he
because-
is. Yeah,
Oh, they
can't
fell off
get
the
'em.
truck. Yeah.
$100 a bottle or whatever.
I just got a
guys been-
box of 200 gloves. But I already had a box of 100 gloves in my car because I always put them on whenever I would put gas in the car anyway. So
What a lunatic.
He's a mime in his spare time, too.
You guys been washing your hands?
Oh, sure.
course.
Yeah, they're cracked. And
Yeah.
I told these guys,
I,
stop turning off the light in the bathroom. I don't want to touch the light switch after one of you lepers.
I turned it off with a paper towel.
No, leave it on, okay? I'm paying the electric bill, for
you're
God's sake.
supposed to conserve electricity.
No,
too.
I'm not. Leave that light on. I don't want to touch it after.
See, there's no reasoning with
Godwin's been in there. God knows where his left hand has been.
Boy, ain't that the truth?
I know where his left hand's been.
Touch the
Hey, you know what- you know what you're-
light socket. My finger gets pregnant.
Let Greg speak.
I'm sorry. we have a guest.
I'm
He's a
listening, I'm
guest.
enjoying it.
So, yeah, we are washing our hands very well. How about you?
Yeah, you're supposed to do it twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to sing "Happy Birthday" twice.
Right.
Right, dude. When I wash my hands now, I sing "Happy Birthday," but I sing it like Marilyn Monroe sang it to the president.
That'll take a while, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do it once because it's a lot slower.
Sure.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Now, you don't do this out loud, do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody here, Josh. Nobody here.
Now, Greg, you're probably not aware of this, and I certainly appreciate your C+ level impression of Marilyn Monroe. But Chick McGee here, not only does he do an absolutely killer Jackie Kennedy,
That's right, Greg.
his version of Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday" to the president. Just favor the man.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
It's unbelievable.
Is Marilyn Monroe in here?
I know. It's fascinating, isn't it?
How did you guys do that? I thought
I
she was
don't know.
dead.
Yeah, he thought so.
So, Greg, this has made me a little absent-minded. I was late to when we returned for the last break, the previous one to this, and I was making some tea in one of those machines, the Keurig thing.
Yes.
So I just went back in there when we broke again to go get the tea, and I'd forgotten to put the cup underneath the spout, so the tea was all over the counter. I'm not kidding.
No, we believe you. Again, you
Yes.
never have to say
You
you're
don't have
not
to say
kidding.
you're not
No.
kidding.
We always believe
We're
you.
surprised it doesn't happen every time.
This is making me so crazy, but I'm glad that you're doing well. Let me ask you this: are you binge watching anything?
Yeah, I mean, I consumed the third season of Ozark in one evening, I think. And
Oh, that's out. I've got to
Yeah.
watch
Last
it.
Friday.
That's great. And I did.
I've heard it's the best.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I did Tiger King.
Sure.
Did you hear that there's
Actually-
going to be a new episode coming up? I think next weekend.
Really?
They're doing a reunion show.
I've been reading a book actually that I got from you guys. I'm in the middle of this book. It's a John Feinstein book.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He's one of my favorite authors. And in the you can see in the front of the book, there's an inscription.
Oh.
Great job, Greg, John Feinstein.
Oh, so he signed it for
That's
you.
exciting.
No, actually, Chick signed it
Oh, yeah, that's right. I sure did.
as if
Yeah,
he
that's
were
mine.
John Feinstein.
Yeah, that's my John Feinstein autograph.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
jerk.
Oh,
We'll have to
book
call
is-
John and apologize.
That book is marred. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we let you
Guy's
go,
like my
Greg.
favorite author.
Greg, can you leave us with a suggestion of something to binge watch that you have approved of that you think is very good?
Yeah. I'm going to go back to I think if anybody hasn't seen The Wire, this is a good time to go back and
Yeah,
check that out.
that's pretty amazing. And if you have seen it and it's been a while, go watch it again. It's
It's good the
wonderful.
second time.
Yep.
And then there's a show, actually, this is one that I'm going to suggest. There's a show on Amazon called Bosch.
Yes, it's great.
And a lot of the Wire actors are in that show. And I think there's a 6th season coming. in
April
about 2 weeks.
17th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Yes.
that. I had to be laid up with my eye surgery over the summer, and I watched that.
Isn't that about a power tool magnate? who-
Right, yeah.
So Chick, it's
And
interesting to say it's it's the same name.
Now, isn't that about
branches
a
out.
contact lens cleaner?
Bausch and
There's,
Lomb,
there's
yeah.
partners.
Sorry, I asked,
And
Greg.
he's a dishwasher. He invents one of those. And
Right. There's some sort of partnership.
boy, that really does sound interesting,
He's,
Greg.
a, he's a cop that invents
good
the spark plug. Thank you, Greg.
Good
Craig, it's a
recommendation,
pleasure to see you.
Greg,
as
can we
always.
can we
I
call
love you guys. guys.
Love you
If we
too.
all
Love you too,
die,
Greg.
I love you guys.
Love you too, man. Hey, your last gig, we didn't get to ask you. Were you lustily booed when you hit the stage because we had created a
monster, so to speak?
Yeah.
No, actually, Josh, I'm sorry to report no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we did our best.
Hey, Greg, we'll try to call you later this week. Maybe you could prepare something. Thanks.
Oh my God.
We've got him on a bed.
Get those words in. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Interrupted him 10
We're
times.
talking about his chi or whatever the hell it was.
One of the finest stand-up comedies in America, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Greg Warren. Thank you, Greg.
See you, Greggy.
Bye, Greggy.
He's the best. No, we did wake him up. I just,
No, I know, yeah.
When we were talking to Nikki, I texted Dean and I said, "Hey, wake up, Greg." We'll
Still listening. Be nice.
Oh, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
I've had enough of it.
Look at him. He's so
Is there any way you can get rid of him?
Pathetic.
Look how
sitting there.
dumb he
Sitting there with that dopey grin.
We froze
We
it on
love
ugly.
you. No, he's still
No,
moving.
that's
clueless.
All right.
What a dumb look. Look at his face.
Hey, $100 as he picks his nose.
He's not gonna
$100.
pick his nose.
Watch.
Oh, no.
$50 as he eats it.
We have to go, boys.
$100 as he moons us.